Hello, this is Yo Sensei. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn the basics of Adobe Illustrator to get up and running. Illustrator is an extremely powerful tool to quickly draw objects in vector format. For creating infographics and diagrams, Illustrator gives a strong... Okay, let's get started. So first, you can go to Adobe Illustrator, start a new file, and in this case, we will be going into web and web large format. So we're gonna use web large format, that is 1920 by 1080 pixel format. Okay, so that's where we are going to start. So first of all, what we would like to do is to learn how to do viewport navigation. So to do that, it's probably a good idea to get some, draw some circles in your file so that we have some stuff to look at. Okay, so to do a zoom on your using zoom is to press Option or Alt key on your keyboard and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And to pan on your screen, you can hold spacebar on your keyboard and left drag. So it's just a left drag and Option Alt plus scroll wheel. So this is how you navigate through the artboard in Illustrator. Next thing is the toolbar, Workspace Settings. So to do that, you can go into Window, and go to Workspace, and select Essentials Classic. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you the necessary tool set in the beginning. And then if you click on this double triangle mark on the top right, it will open up this thing. So what it does is that it's going to show color, swatches, stroke, and layer and artboards. So make sure to go to Workspace and Essentials Classic. And then the next thing that you want to do is next to layers and asset export, find artboards. So this is where you set up this artboard, which we set up in the beginning. And if you click on this thing, then you can set up the the size of your artboard. And then if you actually have if you want to create multiple pages, you can create another artboard, and that's going to give you multiple page capability for your artwork. But in this case, we're not going to do it, so I'm just going to select artboard 2 and just delete it. So that's how you set up artboard and duplicate it. Okay, so the next thing that we would like to do is primitives. And primitives in Illustrator are stored here. So you have rectangles, rounded rectangles, ellipse, polygon, star, and flare. And it's a pretty simple thing that you can do. So you can create rectangles this way. Hold Shift to make it square. Okay. And then you can, do rounded rectangles by selecting it. And then the roundedness of rectangle can be actually controlled by this little dot next to it. So you can just, do whatever the roundedness. Next one is ellipse tool. So you can draw, kind of oval shapes. And again, if you select hold Shift, then it's going to make it into a perfect circle. So so that is that. So simple primitives. And if you take a look at these two tools on the top left, there is a selection tool and there is the direct selection tool. So the selection tool, what it does is that if you click on it, it's a black arrow. It's going to select your object, and it will let you change scales and rotate objects, but it's not going to change the the path itself. But if you click on the direct selection tool, what it can do is it can manipulate the anchor points and let you modify the shape. So those are the difference between selection tool and direct selection. So that's something to consider. Okay. And layers in Illustrator is really important, and you should be using a lot of layers. So in this case, what we can have here is click on layers, and then let's create a few layers. So maybe for the next layer, we're going to create circle layer and double click to create box layer, and maybe spiky shapes layer. Okay, so to change layers, you can select all of the using the selection tool and select all the circular objects, and then it's going to give you a small dot next to current layer. And then if you drag this dot into the layer next to it, it's going to drop this into a circle layer. And you can change the visibility, or you can lock the layer by clicking this. Okay, so I'm going to select all of the boxes and then drag and drop this into the box layer. And then spiky things to this layer. Okay, so that's how you move between layers. Another thing that you can do is you can just click on this little circle next to the layer, and that's going to select everything that is inside of the layer. So that's really useful. So those are the layers. And next thing is fill and stroke. And fill and stroke is extremely important thing that I want you to really learn it. So if you click on this, so what it means is that there is a fill and there is also stroke. So what I want you to do is click on this tiny little top and bottom arrow next to color, and go to this part where it shows black and white front and back. So this one is visible on this left part. So the top part is fill and the bottom part is stroke. So I am going to change my fill to red, and then I'm going to change my stroke to black or blue. Okay, so this one has red fill with blue stroke, and then you can also turn off fill and add stroke to it as well. So you can play with fill and stroke using this. Click on it and then change fill and stroke like that. So that is going to give you a easy access to fill and stroke. Okay. So scaling and rotating. So as we did in the beginning, you can just click on selection tool, and then you can scale in sideways and vertically by holding these little handles. If you hold shift, you can scale this thing in the same proportion as the original one, and then you can also rotate these objects by kind of holding on the outside of the selection tool and then rotate it. You can hold shift to lock your rotation to 45 degrees. Okay, so that's useful. Okay, so the next thing that I would like to do is something that is like this, creating something like this. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to do is to run a black circle holding shift, and to copy this object, what you can do is select on it and Control C or Command C and Command V, right? That's going to copy and paste. But the easier way to do it is click on this and drag this object and hold Option or Alt key when you drop it. Once you have dropped this object, run on your keyboard, run Command and D or Control and D on Windows. So that is going to let you repeat the last move from it. Okay, I'll show it to you one more time. Drag and drop by holding Alt or Option, and then Control or Command D. Okay, so that is going to copy command. Okay, duplicate command. Let's create another circle that is white on top of it, slightly smaller, and then you can just duplicate this using the same methodology. Okay. So first, what I would like to do is select all of the black ones, but I would like to kind of like get them aligned in this way. So I am going to select all of the black objects, and then on top there is a horizontal distribute center alignment tool, so that if you do it, then it's going to align them in a perfect way, and then align them horizontally, vertical center. Okay. So this tool is super useful. And next, what you can do is move this white circle inside of it in a way that is relatively, having same cadence, and just decide where the first one is going to go. First one and the last one is going to go. So in this case, you can select all of the white ones, and then run horizontal distribute center, and then vertical distribute center. So this one is going to give you the cadence of the movement of this object in a perfect way, which is nice. Okay. So alignment tool, if you select more than two objects, then alignment tool will appear on top, which is really nice. So that's something that you can do. Okay, so the last one I am going to cover in this section is to create shapes that are cut out of these. So you can go to Window and find Pathfinder. And then what Pathfinder tool is going to do is to create, you can unite, or you can minus front, you can intersect, exclude, and divide, and things. So what you can do is, in this case, I'm going to just divide these pieces. So what it did is that it had created the division between them. But at this point, everything is grouped. So if you select everything and right click and ungroup everything, then each object is going to become independent one. So I'm just going to go and delete all of the white part that are inside of it and outside of it too. So that's going to give you the perfect objects that are completely divided. So this is a very short introduction to Adobe Illustrator, getting started. And I think this one is going to give you a very simple sense of how to get started and getting into the Illustrator. We will have more tutorials on Illustrator that will cover path tools and anchor points and other things in the following tutorials. But I think this is enough to get started. So enjoy using Illustrator. Thank you.